the PDF downloads of the African Dialogues Volumes 1 and 2 are in the links below the description of this video. Charles, when I see that the churches in Africa are full, and some even collapse due to overcrowding, and some people die, I think the new presentation should have some targeted messages for these people caught in this church trap of worship and praying and miracle seeking. However, I've realized that maybe our messages are not too well crafted for Africa. We seem to speak in market terms without particular emphasis on certain things that have entrapped these people. For instance, the want to do some activities in Africa whenever possible. I want to think maybe our message will be lost, as most will think we are environmentalists or social reformers, and our thrust will be diluted by this. I'm not saying we should do nothing, but I think the most important message to give people anywhere who have been caught in this mesh of creation is that word, the song, that can liberate them from the mire they have been caught in for millennia, the new you song. I think we should concentrate on this more, to the best of our abilities, and I consider this the true gift to give to the oppressed, and this gift will impact them physically, psychically, and let me say spiritually. I look at the new song as the most important thing that can be given to anybody. We may take it for granted because we know it, but there are many people struggling out there. Even my sister was advising me to consult a prophet, and I told her that I was a prophet myself, and she was so shocked, and she went on to speak of how the Holy Spirit had descended upon me. She is just in creation and worshipping the gods in creation. So the new song and the new message are the most important gifts for anyone on Earth, and this is what will work wonders in people's lives. Step up awareness about many things around them, and it will take people to greater heights, even without telling people to do anything else. The new man's mission is to teach and bring this song to humanity. Teach them how to sing it, and to be liberated from creation altogether. Duane responds, the idea here is that we're covering all bases, and that is that you can present the new to the world, which is what we're doing a whole lot, and on many fronts, and getting resistance from that. The corporation and others like that don't want to hear it. They want their own. They want their hue, and amen, etc. It's not really, but it is a sneaky way to bring it around, using the all-natural environment, etc. And the word all-natural ties in its own way. There's many ways to reference and tie into the isness, and that's just one of them, because I've made it specifically to reference it. It's not just talking about the environment, it's everything. The all-natural environment is all life. It's the isness life is. It just appears a different way, with different letters, that's all. But the reference is the same. There's no difference. Like anything, even if you give people the new you, it doesn't mean they're going to see it. It's really seeing and recognizing it. There's many ways to do that, and this is the fun part, where you get creative. You represent Africa, and so you decide when you're going to interpret what is presented here to Africa in a particular way, to where Africa can better understand. There's no perfect way to do this. I remember when I was in the corporation with Paul, I decided to interpret what he was presenting as I went out there into the public and started to do public lectures. I was to interpret that, and so again, it's not about waiting for me to do it. Yes, I'm giving the generalization of what is going on here, and each person in each place, and even with themselves, decides how they're going to interpret it for themselves. Just like when you go to the store and buy all those groceries, and all what you buy, the lettuce, eggs, etc., is the generalization. When you get home, you decide how you're going to cut it up, mix it, or prepare it. That becomes your interpretation of what you have collected, and it's the same way with this. This is why I write so many Facebook groups. These are little messages out there that are hints for each person not to start something new and funny and add funny things to it, but learn to see and recognize the simplicity of it, and then apply it accordingly. This is where your adventure comes in. You apply it accordingly to you, and how you want to present it to the world. But the basic idea is, yes, the new you. But you have to kind of bring it around. The new you has always been here, but we had to go through a lot of a process first to finally get there for it to become so. This is going through the corporation, and what Paul brought too. He brought the first part, so Paul used what was available. He just put it together and made a little more sense of it. But he was still the babysitter. At the time, he used all these things, the God idea, the hue, etc. That was a preparation for this. And you have to see it that way. You can't just give it direct. You can't feed a baby baked potatoes and chili. You have to break it down. to where it's soup almost, like baby food. And so we start off like that, but very rapidly the child grows, and it's the same with this. From my days in the corporation, good, bad, or indifferent, it's all fine. And now I look to what I've been through up until this moment. And that is that we have a gigantic garden with so much more variety, and all of it implies the same thing, the isness. It's just how we see it. It's just not one thing, because people are multitasked today. There are many things that they are involved in. Each person is going to decide how they're going to bring it together and focus. Years ago, I wrote those courses for the Africans. Again, utilize them. You're the interpreter for Africa. I've given the whole thing. So now I'm also working on the Galactic Scale with other planets and other aliens. And that's a challenge, and this is going to be a very interesting experience here as this unfolds. The guides are there doing everything they can to bring it forward, because there's a lot more going on than just the earth here. In all of creation, there's a lot of situations that are very dastardly, that are very dark, and planets have been destroyed. The earth isn't the only one. It's getting beyond ourselves more so than just this business world, but each person decides to step up. When people step up, what will they do? Will they take this on? When one of the Asians came on years ago, the second Skype meeting, he decided to translate the books. I was taken aback and shocked, but he did 2 of them, and they came out great. He did the business plan also, and who else would take the time to do that? It's not for me. It's for everyone. So, this is the adventure. Each person decides. Who will do that? Who will step up and do something? We've had these African Skypes for years now, and even Ava and I designed the t-shirts, starting off with the baby food again, referencing the all-natural environment, and that implies the is. Then, a step at a time, they will learn about the worldwide educators, and they will learn about the new you when they are ready, but you can't force feed them. That's the idea. But each person decides, wherever they are at, to take on this adventure and challenge. But for most people, their personal life is more important. It's like how they have not got time. They must work, do this, etc. And that's fine. But you're only growing older, and the isness life is can't decide for you. You can know about it, but you have to do it. You have to do it 100%. This is the opportunity, like never before, but you really have to see it. Each person decides how they're going to interpret what is presented. Again, this is a presentation. It's not an absolute. There's no such thing in creation. It is a reference. It is not sacred writings, or a doctrine, or a teaching. It is none of these things. It's very upfront. It's a real reference to this true reality. And that's the best part. It's clean and real.